Welcome in here to another Elmira Pioneers live stream. As the Pioneers, after coming off of 3 days of rest because of a rainout last night against Jamestown, now they're on their third day to rest today, and they'll be taking a little bit of a baby step going back into the league schedules by taking on an exhibition game today against the Fingerlakes Falcons. The Fingerlakes Falcons are already on there on the line, and for the first time this season, I will be joined with the color commentator tonight. For the first time, I have the Canadian Cannon himself, Max Gentile, up here with me in the broadcast booth. Max, how are you doing tonight?
Good, Alex. Good. Thanks for having me up here. I'm excited to get this going. Yeah.
Of course, man. It's an honor to have you up here. I'm such a big fan of all that you've done so far this season. You've been fantastic. Love to watch you and been able to call you. It's been great.
Thanks. Thank you.
And, of course, the Pioneers sitting at 11-7 right now, fourth in the West Division of the PGCBL, coming off a win against Auburn. That was a massive win. Ray Hernandez hit a massive home run over the right field wall here at Dunfield in the bottom of the eighth to give the Pioneers a 7-6 lead, and then Ferrari came on and closed that one out against Auburn, able to get the win. And I'm sure you were in the dugout during that home run. What was the reaction down there?
It was a crazy moment for us. I mean, we had Ray hit a bomb earlier in the year, and Griffin had one against Buffalo
yeah.
Last time we had an exhibition game, but we haven't had one like that where it's like game winning, bottom eight. Like, it was an unreal moment. It was cool. Yeah. And I heard that you called it out, actually. I was watching the stream back, yeah.
Yeah, I called it out. I said what a moment it would be if Ray Hernandez could hit a home run. 2 pitches later, boom, over the right field wall. That was an insane game, and what a massive moment to snap the losing streak. I mean, you guys were on a 3-game losing streak, and then Ray Hernandez ends it right there. And now we're actually going to take it looks like that the players are going out there tonight. And tonight is an exhibition game, which means that it's only going to be 7 innings tonight, so a little bit of a shorter game than what we usually have. Normally it's 9 innings, obviously, in a normal baseball game. However, because of the exhibition game, it is only 7 tonight, and none of the stats and none of the standings will be affected tonight, so anything that happens in the game will not count towards the PGCBL, which is nice because now all the batters that have gotten a couple days off get to warm up a little bit against some weaker opponents here, not PGCBL opponents, before you guys will be going on the road tomorrow against Jamestown. That's going to be a big game.
Yeah, our rivals, Jamestown. Haven't got a win against them yet, but we're looking for one tomorrow.
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to be a big game. And now, of course, it looks like we're about ready to get set here for the national anthem, so me and Max are going to step away for a second, and I'll bring us back once the national anthem is over. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. That was a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. And now, as of course in most exhibition games, Coach Drum gave me a tentative lineup, and it's going to be a little bit of rotation city tonight, especially considering he started actually quite a few of the starters and some of the bigger names in the lineup tonight, and I'm going to quickly run through that real quick. Leading off, it'll be number 16, Christian Zeely, the second baseman, one of the two-way players on this team who can hit and pitch. Batting second will be number 88, Joseph Kelson, the extra hitter tonight. Normally a pitcher, going to be getting some at-bats tonight. Not uncommon for a exhibition game. We've seen that in the past. Batting third will be number 24, Eric Charnetsky, catching once again, as I think he's done every single exhibition game. Batting fourth, it'll be number 77, Joe Muzio, the first baseman tonight. Batting fifth, it'll be number 8, Cooper Smith, the right fielder. Batting sixth, it'll be number 25, Griffin Yastrzemski, the designated hitter. Batting seventh, it'll be number 47, Ray Hernandez, who we just mentioned earlier. And now, actually, you can see going around the infield is an alpaca. We have alpacas here tonight, and so the alpaca wearing a Pioneer shirt is going around going around the infield. What are your thoughts on that, Max?
Man, I love some of the promotional stuff that our administration does. Like Robbie and Mark, they come up with some great ideas, and this one is a little more wild than the ones I've seen in the past. It's pretty cool. Is he throwing out the first pitch?
I think he is, actually. I think one of the handlers is throwing out the first pitch. There it is. And a great first pitch from the Alpacas. The Alpacas are over in the picnic area over on the third base side of the stadium tonight, and it's going to be awesome to see them tonight. And now getting back to the lineup real quick. Batting seventh, as I was saying, number 47, Ray Hernandez, who just hit that home run that we were talking about earlier against Auburn a couple days ago. He'll be playing third base tonight. Batting eighth, it'll be number 4, Weston Gingrich, the center fielder. Batting ninth, it'll be number 30, Cam Levesque, the left fielder. Batting 10th, it'll be number 22, Nick Bisaccia, and that's a name that we haven't heard in quite a while for the Pioneers fans. It's great to have him back. He was out the past couple of weeks dealing with an injury. Now he's back and starting tonight, trying to get back into the shape of things. He will be at shortstop tonight and on the mound tonight for the Pioneers, as he has been for every exhibition game tonight. It'll be number 3, Kevin Serrano, who will be getting the start on the mound for the Pioneers tonight. And now, quickly, I'm going to run through the Fingerlakes lineup. Fingerlakes did not give us any positions up here, so they just gave us names and numbers. So I'll have to try and judge the numbers best I can from up here. Both of them are wearing red jerseys. It's another Auburn game all over again. It's going to be red on red tonight, so it'll be interesting. However, leading off for the Fingerlakes Falcons, it'll be number 99, Alex Dautier. Batting second, it'll be number 37, Ian Ruhail. Batting third, it'll be number 15, Tyler Korski. I do apologize if I butcher any of these names. Batting fourth, it'll be number 13, Michael Brown. Batting fifth, it'll be number 39, Cody Sayer. Batting sixth, it'll be number 4, Blake Van Wart. Batting seventh, it'll be number 12, Michael Hayes. Batting eighth, it'll be number 10, Kyle Ripley. Batting ninth, it'll be number 34, Brody Hayui. Batting 10th, it'll be number 5, Logan Mook. And batting 11th, it'll be number 6, Alex Maximak. And they did not give us a starting pitcher as well, so I don't know who's going to be on the mound for the Fingerlakes, but it's going to be a surprise for all of us. And, of course, the Fingerlakes will be leading off here, so it'll be Alex Dautier leading off number 99 against Serrano. Serrano, we've seen start the last 2 exhibition games, and his last start, however, he got a little bit shaky. He hit 4 hit by pitch in his first 6 batters, and so a little bit of a tough start for him. Hoping to have a little bit of a better performance tonight, and it'll be good to see Bisaccia back out there. And as Dautier steps into the batter's box, we're about ready to get set here. Max, any final thoughts before we get going on this one?
Not really. I just know you were mentioning Bisaccia at shortstop. It's always interesting to see how a player comes back from injury, and hopefully could be a good confidence booster for him. Yeah.
Very nice. And now it'll be Dautier stepping in here to face Serrano to get this game underway. And, of course, only a 7-inning game, as it is an exhibition game. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 1. 0-1 the count out at Dautier. No outs here in the top of the first. Max, now, I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, but what do you think the most common pitches we'll see tonight from Serrano?
I know Kevin. I've played catch with him a few times. He'll be fastball heavy. I know he's been working on his changeup quite a bit, but I know he has been struggling a little recently with it, so we may not see it as much in-game as compared to his bullpen earlier. I know he throws a slider as well. Other than that, I think those are his 3 go-to pitches, but I think mainly we'll be seeing fastball slider like that slider that just came in.
And that one was chopped over to Hernandez. Hernandez throws over to Muzio in time, and that'll be 1 away. A nice pick there, and you called it. That was the slider that we just saw on the pitch that Dautier chopped over to Hernandez at third, throw over to Muzio right on time. And now that'll bring up number 37, Ian Ruhail, It's a really interesting last name. He'll be up to bat now with one away here. And Serrano, a good start to the night for him. And from what I've gotten from what Coach Drum told me, it'll just be Serrano and Burkan on the mound tonight. And so it'll be interesting to see how both of them perform. Serrano fires, and that one is called strike one right down the middle. I'm assuming that was the fastball, probably.
Like a fastball there, yeah. He looks a little more confident out there. I hope he can keep this up.
Absolutely. 1-1 the count. Serrano sets, deals. That one is inside, and that'll be ball one. That one was probably another fastball, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, it'll probably be fastball heavy for probably most of this start tonight. Serrano 1-1, sets, fire, swing and a miss there from Rahel. And the count quickly goes 1-2 now in Serrano's favor. It'd be a big strikeout to get his first one here on his only second batter. What pitch do you think he's going to go for?
Hoping a fastball here. Looks like it was, yeah.
That one was a fastball. Down low in the dirt, however. That one just outside for ball two. If you had to call, what do you think his punch-out pitch is going to be going to for this?
Now, if I were him, tried to go fastball away. It was low. I would challenge the guy with another fastball. I think the count's 2-2 right now, so you can blow a pitch right here. See what he does.
That one was a slider down and away. Count fills up now, 3-2. Now if you're in Serrano's situation, 3-2 the count. Out of those three pitches, what are you going to?
I mean, for me, first inning, we're playing still a high school team with Kevin's stuff. I would try to blow a fastball right by him, but see what he goes with here.
3-2 the count now. Serrano sets, deals. That one is swung on and chopped over to Hernandez again. Hernandez turns over to Muzio in time, and that'll be 2 away. 2 outs here at the top of the first, 2 ground outs over to the third baseman. A good start for Serrano. Serrano able to fight off Rahel on that one and force him to ground out. Now that'll bring him number 15, Tyler Korski. Once again, no positions from the Fingerlakes tonight, and so it'll be positionless. So we'll have to see what their infield and outfield looks like in the bottom of the first. And honestly, Korski kind of has a batting helmet similar to Cooper Smith. It kind of reminds me of his. Serrano sets, deals. That one is called strike one, and that was a nice pitch there. That one looked like fastball right down the middle.
I think Kevin's going to find his success with just controlling his fastball and throwing it for strikes. He can rely on his off-speed to get chase pitches, but, I mean, see, that's what strikes get. That one's chopped
right over to Bisaccia, and that was a fastball, and it's called right to Bisaccia, and throw over to Muzio in time, and that'll be 3 outs, 1, 2, 3 for Kevin Serrano in the top of the first. No runs for the Fingerlakes. We go to the bottom of the first right after this.
Was not made for pull. What if red wine set aside the steak and made room for love? What if we've been drinking wine wrong all along, and instead wine was to be shared as a human experience with love, integrity, and hope? Hi, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm the vineyard manager and property manager of Bully Hill Vineyards, and I'm a 4th generation winemaker and 5th generation grape grower of my family. So it all started with my great-great-grandfather George and his son Walter Taylor Sr. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Finger Lakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines. These varietals were developed in France in the 19th century, and they were brought over by my grandfather in the 1950s. And here at Bully Hill, we started the experimental farm, from where these hybrid varietals have made their way to almost all 50 states. As we become more environmentally conscious, we're looking for agricultural solutions that have less impact on the environment. Now, the French hybrids that my grandfather brought over in the 1950s already solved this problem ahead of time. They take half the amount of fungicide, and that was the backbone of what built Bully Hill, the French-American hybrids. My dad firmly believed that a product is an extension of a person's soul, and we still adhere to that today at Bully Hill Vineyards. His memory and his vision is still seen around the Finger Lakes. Here at Bully Hill, we're excited about the future and sharing this experience with you. Bully for you.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It is the bottom of the first inning here, and still a 0-0 ball game between the Finger Lakes Falcons and the Pioneers. I'm Alex Schubert, joined alongside by Max Gentile back here for the second half inning of baseball, and it'll be Nolan Terwilliger back on the mound here for the Finger Lakes, and I feel like we've seen him quite a few times. I believe we've seen him at both of the other exhibition games actually so far. Terwilliger now sets, deals, and that one is inside. That'll be a hit by pitch on the first pitch from Terwilliger to Christian Zeele, the second baseman who's leading off for the Pioneers. I didn't even get to say anything, and then immediately he goes over. A very interesting start from Terwilliger. What do you expect to see, Max, as someone who is the pitcher, what do you expect to see from an 18U pitcher on the mound tonight going up against the Pioneers?
Yeah, of course. So when I was in high school, I played a bunch of college teams, like through my travel team, and I always found success. Like, I never threw too hard, and especially growing up, these college players see high 80s, low 90s every day at their school. For Nolan today, I think his success is just going to be coming from throwing strikes, low in the zone to get guys to roll over, ground balls. I mean, that's all you can ask for as a pitcher, so.
Absolutely, and now Terwilliger checked back over to Zeele, and it's 0-1 the count now to Joseph Kelson, who's the extra hitter tonight. Kelson, number 88, normally a pitcher. We've seen him start, and we've seen him be as a reliever in some games as Terwilliger fires. That one is called strike 2 to the outside. That was a nice pitch. And so 0-2 the count now to Kelson, who's getting his first ABs of the entire season, I do believe.
I think he had one against Buffalo last time.
Did he?
If I'm not mistaken. I think he got a hit to right.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. I think you are right on that. And once again, these exhibition games, there's so many players, it's really hard to remember who actually got ABs. That is called strike 3. A big strikeout for Terwilliger, and there's one away here. That was very impressive.
That's what I mean. Low strikes, hitters aren't used to it, and you just throw strikes with command. That's all you can ask for.
Wow, well, Kelson goes down swinging on that, and now that'll bring up number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the hometown boy, and he's catching tonight. This is, I believe, the third time we've seen Charnetsky catch this season at all 3 exhibition games. Terwilliger now with 1 out, sets, fires. That one is popped up right field side. That is foul and out of play. The first baseman did run over and try and make a play at it. However, it clanged off the dugout of the Pioneers. And the count will go 0-1. If you're Zeele here off of first, do you think he's going to try and steal in this at-bat to get over to second?
I'm not too sure how fast Zeele is, but, I mean, it would never hurt. We could see.
Oh, Zeele, yeah, now he's in trouble. And a throw out here as he hesitated off of first. And now the second baseman loses it, and he's able to scamper back to fall. He's not on the lineup, so he is one of the substitutes tonight. And so 26 dropped at the second baseman, and Zeele was able to scamper back over there to first. He was able to keep it at 1 out only, as that would have been out 2 right there.
Maybe Zeele does have some speed that I don't know about. Maybe he's trying to take second base without anybody knowing. I like that.
Maybe. You never know. 0-1 the count still to Charnetsky here at the plate. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Terwilliger sets, deals. That one is going to be a hit by pitch again. So far for Terwilliger, 3 batters. It's hit by pitch, strikeout, and then hit by pitch again. So a little bit of good thing, bad thing. Take 1 step forward, 2 steps back almost.
Yep.
And so now runners on first and second for the Pioneers. I once again do apologize. Just like the Auburn streams, it is red on red tonight as they are wearing red USA jerseys. The Finger Lakes are. Oh, and Muzio's taking a bat from Misha. I believe that's one of Drum's daughters, actually, who gave him that bat. And so he took a ceremonial swing there up at the plate. And Muzio, a familiar face on the Pioneers lineup, now one of the latest additions, however, as he came back from the Northwoods League. Zealy off of second. Terwilliger set steal. Swing and a miss there from Muzio. And I was talking to Muzio earlier. He said he wanted to hit a homer today in the Fingerlakes game. You think he can do it, Max?
I think he has the power to do it, and you know his confidence is above anybody else's. So I could see him putting one off that Texas Roadhouse sign there out in right field.
We haven't seen it all season. Anyone hit the Texas Roadhouse side, so that would be great to see it tonight, even in an exhibition game. Count goes 1-1 now to Muzio, and it's actually aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the bottom of the first. Charneski off first, Zealy off of second. And once again, I do apologize. It's red on red tonight as that one's outside. Zealy's going to try and steal third. He will steal third. Zealy's now going to come home, and that will be a run for the Pioneers. They have a 1-0 lead as the throw from the catcher was not in the right place to get Zealy. Third baseman couldn't handle it, and now it's a 1-0 ball game. Zealy did have some speed on those runs.
Go. Yeah.
I think we will probably see a calamity of errors tonight, probably from the Fingerlakes. It's an 18U team.
Most likely from both teams.
Probably. Charnetsky's now off of second as that one's outside. Count now 3-1 to Muzio. Muzio potentially drawing a walk here. It'll be the first walk given up by Terwilliger, besides the hit by pitches, of course.
I think this would be the best count for Joe to hit a home run if he really wanted to. 3-1.
3-1, probably facing a fastball, yeah. Terwilliger sets, deals. That one is outside, ball 4.
He will settle for a walk, I guess.
That one was just, I think that one was just a little bit too outside for him to actually get any power on that one. However, that'll be a walk, and now runners on first and second here for the Pioneers. Muzio over at first, Charnetsky at second. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and already a 1-0 lead. And of course, Pioneers actually lost to the Buffalo Diesel last time out, and so trying to avenge that a little bit here as Pioneers should not be losing to an exhibition team at all, in my opinion, at least. I don't know whether you agree with that or not.
Well, I mean, we try to get everybody reps in our exhibition game and some of our two-way pitchers as well, and it's kind of just flipping guys in and out. And when you don't have 4 at-bats in a game, 3 at-bats in a game, it's hard to adjust in your 1 or 2 at-bats. So every once in a while, we have a bad game, and I guess that was the day for it.
And that one is a swing and driven over to the second baseman. That'll be a base hit. That'll score Charnetsky. That was hit by Cooper Smith. And now Muzio's caught in between second and third. However, he's able to scamper back to second. So now it is a 2-0 ball game for the Pioneers here, as that is an RBI single by Cooper Smith, who I barely even mentioned. And so Cooper Smith, that was number 8, the right fielder today. And Smith, a very familiar face on the lineup. Now that'll bring up number 25, Griffin Yastrzemski, the designated hitter tonight. And Yastrzemski does have home run power. We saw him in the Buffalo Diesel game. You can attest to it.
Oh, yeah.
He hit that one 450 feet over the right field wall.
Griffin has some of the most power I've seen in a long time.
Terwilliger sets deals. That one is upstairs, ball 1. Yeah, no, whenever, because I go out and catch batting practice with you guys before the games. And whenever Ray Hernandez or Griffin Yastrzemski are up and taking beeps, I always take about 10 or 20 steps back. Just I'm on the warning track pretty much, because it's like that's where they're going to hit it as Yastrzemski chops one over to second base. Second baseman handles it, throws to first in time. That'll be 2 outs. However, the runners do advance. So a ground out for Yastrzemski, but Smith is now at second, and it'll be Muzio over there at third. And now that'll bring up number 47, Ray Hernandez. We just talked about Ray Hernandez. Now he's up at the plate. The guy who hit the super clutch home run in the bottom of the 8th inning against Auburn just 4 days ago. Number 47, the third baseman tonight. And this is another guy who could hit a home run tonight.
Yeah.
Very, very realistic. We've seen it before.
If Ray puts a bat on the ball, it can go at any time. So let's see if he can do it here.
Especially when he's in BP and he hits homers in BP, like I feel like that's the days where he's like feeling it, and then then I'm always on very high alert for a homer on those days.
We saw Ray start off really hot at the beginning of the season and kind of go through a cold stretch, but the last 2 games he's shown a little life.
Leadoff tripled in the game where he hit that home run against Auburn.
I think he's seeing the ball a little better. His hands are working better for him. I think he's due for some big hits here.
Oh, yeah. 1-1 the count to Hernandez, as that's been 2 pitches for Terwilliger. Smith still off second, Muzio off of third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Terwilliger sets steal, swing and a miss there by Hernandez. And the count goes 1-2 now. Now Terwilliger, this would be a big strikeout here. Where do you think he's going to try and place this one?
That was a fastball inside. I could see him throwing a changeup low and outside, or a curveball in the dirt, something to throw Ray off. Early in the count too, I think he could get him here with the low
Ray
curveball.
Hernandez is known to swing and miss at some pitches. Terwilliger sets, deals. That one is swung over and not missed. That is swung over to the second baseman, and that will be a ground out for Hernandez. The second base turns to first base. No runs here in the bottom of the first inning for the Pioneers. We go to the top of the second right after this. And now, unlike normally where we go to the inning intermission, now I'm going to preview you guys and give you a preview of the upcoming schedule for the Pioneers. Tomorrow on Friday, they will be on the road against Jamestown at Jamestown. And then they will go on a 3-game home stretch. After that, it'll be on the first versus Niagara, then the second versus Batavia, and the third versus Geneva. And on the first, it'll be C-Tran Passenger Appreciation Night. The second, it'll be Free Hilliard Thundersticks and Duncan Night. So the crowd will definitely be rowdy on the second there.
Yep.
I don't know what day you're going to be expected to throw on, but if you are on the second, you'll have a rowdy crowd behind you. And then on the third, it'll be Fireworks Night here for the July 4th. Do you guys enjoy when there are fireworks nights here? Because I don't know.
Yeah, so I think both games that we've had fireworks we've won, I believe. The home opener against Batavia, and then it might have been a Geneva game or something.
I think it was the Geneva game actually.
Yeah, and like the fireworks are amazing here. Being from Canada, you're not gonna find fireworks like you guys do down here. You guys love to take that stuff seriously, and I adore it. I sit there on my chair.
You can see fireworks stands like all over town. I mean,
yeah.
For now, I mean, that stuff doesn't happen in Canada. You don't have fireworks stands like grocery stores.
We have a few holidays like the Victoria Day, Canada Day, where we go pretty crazy. But it's very rare where you see the big fireworks shows like you guys provide here. It's amazing.
Absolutely, amazing. And I mean. That used to be a tradition with me. I used to go down to the Outer Banks for July 4th every single summer for like 13 years, and they would actually outlaw fireworks for everybody else except for the actual town to actually put on. So the town will put on a giant, massive fireworks show, and it'd be awesome to see. And now we're coming back here to the camera now as Serrano looks like he's ready to go here in the top of the second inning. I got to remember to change this over. It is the top of the second inning now here in a 7-inning ball game, so we're almost a quarter of the way through this one. Serrano pretty clean so far. 3 ground outs, went 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first. Looking to do the same here. It'll be number 13, Michael Brown, first up. Serrano fires. That one is just outside for ball 1. What another count here now. So far, I don't think there have been any changes in the infield or outfield so far. I always have to be on my toes with Drum rotating players in these exhibition games. He does that to me all the time. 2-0 the count out of Brown, as that one was once again outside from Serrano. And now, what do you think Serrano's going to go to here to try and get back into this count?
I mean, 2-0, he's been pretty good with his fastball so far. I'm hoping that he just tries to blow one by him right here.
Serrano sets, deals. That one is inside. I think that might have been a changeup on that, 3-0. Now he really needs the pitch to come back in this count a little bit in order to not give up his first walk of the ball game. 3-0 to Brown. Serrano sets, deals. That one is upstairs and inside, ball 4. So that'll be a leadoff walk for the Fingerlakes here with no outs in the top of the second inning. Now that'll bring up number 39, Cody Sayer. And once again, no positions tonight from the Fingerlakes, so we just got names and numbers. Serrano looks over to Brown at first, and I don't think the Fingerlakes are going to be rotating players, but I do think the Drum eventually will, as I think he has throughout most of these exhibition games, rotate the infield, rotate the outfield. Count now 0-1, as that was a chopped tip-off strike from Serrano. You think you're ever going to go out there during one of these exhibition games, get some infield player, get some outfield player? I've seen you over there at first base during BP sessions sometimes.
I mean, I always love playing the infield as my positions growing up, first and third base. So it's always nice to get out there. But I think my time in game, at bats, I think that I've hung up my jersey for that. I think my position now is just solely on the mound, and I have no problem with that.
And now Brown is going to try and steal second base, as that one was outside for ball 1 from Serrano. I would love to see all the pitchers just go out there during one of these exhibition games and do like an entire pitcher infield or entire pitcher outfield. I think that would be sick.
It'd be cool to see how we fare. I think we do pretty well out there.
I think you guys would. A lot of you guys are two-way players that can both hit and pitch, and so I think you guys would do actually pretty well. That one is just outside for ball 2 now. 2-2 the count as it evens up to Sayer, and it'll be Brown over there at second for the Finger Lakes. So growing up, you did play infield?
Yeah, I played first and third base up until I was about 15. And then when I got time to make that decision whether I wanted to still play as a two-way or just pitch, I was better at pitching. And unfortunately, the way that the Canadian baseball system works, it's a little more expensive to play two positions rather than just a pitcher or just a position player. So I just took my talents to where I was at, and
well, I think you made the right decision on that one, my friend.
I think so too.
And so that was a pop out there by Sayer to Wes Gingrich in shallow center field during that. And so now it'll be number 4 Blake Van Wart will be up. Still Brown over there at second, and that one's outside and down low, ball 1. And it's a little bit interesting to see Charnetsky been catching these exhibition games, and normally in the outfield or in the infield, normally as he's been playing for most of the league games. I don't think he's caught a league game yet. I think it's just been the exhibition games, but it's kind of been cool to see him behind the plate a little bit.
Yeah, I think Char's main position is in the outfield, but it's always good to get guys some work during these exhibition games because I know he does catch for his school quite a bit. So.
Yeah, and that was something that Drum actually mentioned to me a little while ago, is that like if any of the catchers actually went down, Char would probably be the next guy up, probably in terms of what the team roster would be like. Serrano still looks over to Brown. 2-0 the count to Van Wart, and Serrano checks over, and it'll be Brown scampering back over there to second. Still only 1 out here on the top of the second inning. I love seeing all the players, especially in these exhibition games, play out of position. Like we've seen Schroeder a couple times be out there and right, who normally catches. Like it's kind of cool to see how all you guys are so versatile and can do so many different things. That will be a base hit single into right center field, and now Brown is going to be held over there at third, as that was a nice throw in there by Gingrich, who is in center, able to get it back to Muzio, who's over there by the mound. So that'll be a single for Van Wart, who now puts runners on the corners for the Finger Lakes with only 1 out here on the top of the second. And now it'll be number 12, Micah Hayes, who will be up at the plate now. Do you think he'll go bunt here to try and drive in the runner at third?
I mean, 1 out with runners on first and third. I'd like to see him swing the bat. I'm expecting a steal from the guy on first base. That's just my personal opinion here. If I were him, I'd get going to put runners on second and third.
Serrano deals, and that one is chopped, swung, right field side and foul. I also forgot, if he just sack flies, he'll bring in the run on third.
Exactly.
So.
There's a lot of the main things that he doesn't want right now are a ground ball hard to an infielder in the hopes of a double play or a strikeout. You want a slow ground ball that'll score the run, or a deep fly ball.
Absolutely. I mean, it would be over to Zealy at second probably if you were going to play into that double play, which is not what he wants. And Serrano fires. That one is just outside. Ball 1. Count goes aces wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out here in the top of the second. Still runners on the corners. It's Brown over there at third, and it is Van Wart over at first. Serrano checks over to Van Wart at first. Muzio grabs that one and throws it back to Serrano. Once again, unfortunately, both of these teams are wearing red jerseys and white pants, so it's impossible to tell almost. But the base runners are the ones that are leaning down in their more squat positions. And the infielders are obviously in their normal infield spots. Serrano sets, deals. That one is popped straight up in the air. Shallow center. I don't know if that's going to be enough. And the runner at third, it was not enough. And that'll be a pop out for Hayes. And Hayes just couldn't quite get enough power on that. If he gets it a little bit farther into the center field, that's definitely a run scored. Because that runner on third was looking the entire time to see if he could come home. A little bit of a missed opportunity there for the Finger Lakes with now 2 outs. And now it'll be number 10, Kyle Ripley, up at the plate. And now Ripley pretty much has to get a base hit into the outfield in order to score that run. I mean, I think that's pretty much his only option at this point.
2 outs, yeah, it's pretty much just a base hit.
Unless of course, a pitch gets by Charnetsky, which is also conceivable. Because The camera doesn't quite show it as that's strike one from Toronto, but there's a massive amount of room behind home plate here at Dunn Field, much more than anywhere else in the league, and so it's a lot more dangerous here at Dunn for pitchers to get behind the catcher, because if that happens, that's almost a guaranteed base for any base runners that are on out there in the infield. As that one is just outside ball one. Now Serrano, this is obviously a big at-bat here with 2 outs in the top of the second, trying to get to the bottom of the second here. It'll be still Van Wart taking his lead off first. Serrano set, steals. That one is way outside, or excuse me, inside. That'll be ball 2 now. 2-1 the count. And it'll be Ripley who had to dive out of the way of that one. This is not the first time Serrano has had trouble with outside pitches. Like I mentioned earlier, he had 4 hit by pitches in his first 6 batters in his last start. So he's definitely done a better job tonight. I really have been impressed with Serrano so far. Serrano 2-1 calls, and that'll be down low, ball 3 now. 3-1 the count. You think he goes back to the fastball here on a 3-1 count?
I think with the 2-run lead right now, I think his best bet is to go back with a fastball, yeah.
3-1 the count. He needs one here in the strike zone or a swing and a miss. That would do just fine. Serrano instead opts to check over to Van Wart, and Muzio doesn't even put the tag on, just catches him, makes sure that he can't go over there to second. That is something that I have noticed, is that a couple of the errors during some of the league games have been because of the first baseman just couldn't catch the pitch cleanly,
off, yeah.
And then it allows the runner to go over to second. I think it was Newark and Geneva. They did that a couple times. And that one will be called ball 4. That one gets by Charnetsky, and that'll be a run for the Finger Lakes here. And now that will be a run for the Finger Lakes, as now it's a 2-1 ball game. And we did get him at second base. Max is right on that. I wasn't even paying attention. They did able to get a throw out at second base as he was trying to steal it. So that will end the inning. 1 run for the Finger Lakes here. And this one makes it a 2-1 ball game. We go to the bottom of the second right after this.
Is you wake up every morning excited to be here. This is the most wonderful place to work.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the second inning, and Pioneers still lead it over the Finger Lakes 2-1 here. I'm Alex Stripper, once again joined by Max Gentile here in the bottom of the second, and now it'll be a new pitcher, Logan Mook, on the mound for the Finger Lakes here, and leading off this inning for the Pioneers, it'll be number 4, Weston Gingrich, the center fielder tonight, and Weston, a very common name on the Pioneers lineup, played, I think, exclusively center, I do believe.
Yeah, I think he's been our center fielder for most of the games, yeah.
Mook here now. Will set, fire. That one is outside, ball 1. And now I've always wondered this, and I have a question for you. What's the difference? What advantages does left versus right-handed pitcher sort of give?
So righty versus righty matchups and lefty versus lefty matchups are a little harder because when they throw the ball, obviously it looks like it's coming from behind you. So oftentimes late in games, like tie ball games going into the 8th, 9th inning, where you need a run and a new pitcher comes in, Drum might pinch hit for a batter who's the opposite from what the pitcher's throwing, so that it's a righty-lefty matchup or a lefty-righty matchup, just so they can see the ball better.
Absolutely, and that'll be a line out for Gingrich into left field. Thank you for the insight, because I've always been wondering that. It's like, I've always heard that there's certain advantages with certain matchups, and I never really understood what the difference was. And now, that'll bring up number 30, Cam Levesque, the left fielder tonight. And Levesque, another common name in the lineup. Levesque made 5 starts already for the Pioneers this season. He was one of the later additions. Him and Granado were some of the later signings right before the season started. 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd. Mook now sets, fires. That one is just inside, ball 1. 1-0 count here to Levesque. 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd. What do you expect to see here from Mook? Do you expect to see anything different from Terwilliger, or do you think they went to him for any sort of reason?
I think mainly with these guys, it's just being able to see college hitters. All of our guys compete at their schools, and I think that's what these 18U teams are really looking for, is just being able to face that kind of competition, so that when they bring it back to their own leagues, they have that much more experience. So I could just see them pitching pretty similar, just attacking hitters, throwing strikes, being able to work through counts with not necessarily being able to blow their fastball by guys, right?
Yeah, they don't necessarily have the velocity, but they can still get sort of the placement maybe that some college pitchers will get.
Exactly.
1-2 the count out of Levesque here. 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd. Mook now sets, deals. That one is going to be another hit by pitch walk. That's already the 3rd of the ball game, not necessarily by the same pitcher, as Mook is coming in here to relieve Terwilliger. However, that will put a runner on first, and now it'll be Nick Bisaccia up. Number 22, the shortstop tonight, making his return to the Pioneers roster. It's great to see him back. It was I didn't even really know that he was injured at all, because I just realized I hadn't heard his name in a while, and then all of a sudden I find out today when I was talking to him earlier that he was actually injured. And that one is swung on a driven right field side. Right fielder coming in and just makes the play. That is a great play there by the right fielder, and that one, the throwback gets by the first baseman. However, Levesque is safe. That was a line out by Bisaccia. I was just about to ask you, what do you hope to see from Bisaccia tonight?
You know, even though the right fielder made a great play, you can't really ask much more from a guy who just came back from injury. I mean, it was close to a backside single, a nice barrel. It's not much more you can ask for.
That reminded me of like a Cooper Smith diving play in right field, because I've seen him do that a couple times in right field during some of the league games, and he just went right in there and picked it off the ground almost. I really thought that was going to be a base hit. 2 outs here now in the bottom of the 2nd as we go back up top to the top of the lineup now for the Pioneers. And leadoff man, number 16, Christian Zeele, the second baseman tonight. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Zeele, of course, one of the two-way players on this team, and that one is inside for ball 1 from Mook. 1 out of the count now to Zeele. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd. I know Levesque does have some speed. Do you think he's going to steal second here to try and get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs?
I could see that, yeah.
And that one is just called strike.
There he goes.
There he goes. As soon as we mention it, he steals second, and he is safe there at second. That was called strike 1 to Zeele. And as soon as we talk about it, he just goes right over there to second. And so there you go. There's the answer to our question. He does steal second here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd to now put a runner in scoring position. Do you think he goes back-to-back here to go all the way over to the 3rd?
I think with 2 outs, unless he gets a really good jump, I see him staying because, I mean, most base hits will score him anyway, so I think he's at a good spot there.
Absolutely. That is something that I've noticed with most runners over there at second. If there's even a base hit single into right field, that'll be enough to get them all the way around. Yeah. And so it's really, the speed definitely makes a difference, though, for most base runners. It's really the difference between a single and a double.
Exactly.
But the Pioneers definitely have a lot of speed. Like, I know Charnetsky's pretty fast. Noss has also got some speed out there. So, I mean, a lot of the guys who have gone out there and who are running normal bases for the Pioneers can definitely get around to home from second with just a blooper single. 1-2 the count. Zealy takes strike three. Called strike three on the outside. Do you think that one was a good pitch from
I think
Mook?
it was a good pitch by him, yes. Maybe a little questionable by the umpire, but it was a good pitch.
Well,
sure.
that'll end the bottom of the second inning, and no runs for the Pioneers. They still lead it 2-1. However, we go to the top of the third inning right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the third inning here. I'm Alex Schieber, once again joined by Max Zentiel here in the top of the third. And Pioneers still lead this one 2-1 over the Fingerlakes. And it'll be Kevin Serrano on the mound once again, as that one is ball down one to number 34, Brody Huey, who will be at the plate now. 1-0 the count. Serrano now will set fire. That one is just outside, down low. Ball two now. 2-0 the count. You think he still goes to the fastball here to try and get back?
Yeah, I think they haven't really been hitting Kevin too hard. I mean, there was that one base hit earlier in the first or second inning, but I think he sticks with his fastball until he really finds his command here. There you go.
Swing and a miss.
Right.
There it is, right on cue. As soon as Max says it, it happens. 2-1 the count now of a swing and a miss from Huey. And as you mentioned, only one hit so far for the Fingerlakes. However, there is a run just based off of that hit. So it was a RBI. And that one is called strike two. That was a nice pitch there by Kevin that just got the outside of the plate. 2-2 the count now. Still no outs here in the top of the third inning. Serrano now will set fire. That one is just down low. Ball three now. 3-2 the count. You still think he sticks with fastball, or do you think he goes off speed here? 3-2.
Honestly, in the third inning, if he's been having command with his slider, I wouldn't mind seeing a slider here to throw off the hitter, but fastball is always a good option too. So
3-2, and he goes for the fastball. That would have swung on a driven right field side. It'll be Noss over there. Noss makes the play right. And I guess we do have actually our first substitution, as it was supposed to be Cooper Smith in right. However, that is clearly number 33, Kevin Noss. So Noss will be coming in for Smith. And once again, Drum told me earlier today that this is going to be a rotating sort of at-bat lineup into where he's going to try and get everyone to have at-bats. So we could see quite a few changes. I don't think anything else has changed so far, but Noss is now replacing Cooper Smith in right. Serrano sets, fires. That one is upstairs, ball one. Or that's a strike. They're gonna. Max is actually correcting me here. That is called strike one. I didn't even notice that. I thought that one was upstairs. Oh, on the count now to Logan Mook, who is also pitching, number 5. That one is swung on and driven straight to Versace at short. And he catches that one with ease, and that'll be a routine line out for out number 2. Serrano's been dealing pretty well tonight. Have you been impressed with him so far?
I have. I mean, coming off of his last 2 starts, I mean, he hasn't had one hit by pitch yet, so that's a big up from what he had last time. So I think he's doing amazing out there right now.
Yeah, it's very nice to see another bullpen arm to the rotation to add. I mean, Pioneers can always use some more good bullpen arms. Serrano sets, deals. That one is outside, ball 1 to now number 6, Alex Maximak, who is now at the plate. Excuse me, that's not Maximak, actually. That is, I believe that's 25. Let me actually see on this pitch. That one is upstairs, ball 2 now. Ball 2 to not Maximak. That is 28, I do believe. 26. 26, I just got corrected. I don't actually have a 26 on my lineup sheet, so I don't know who this is actually after the bat. It's not on the lineup card at all that we were given, so it'll be interesting. 2-0 the count. That one will be upstairs for ball 3 now. 3-0 the count to Maximak here. I'm just going to say that it's Alex Maximak, and he's wearing a different jersey. That's what I'm going with. And so 3-0 the count. 2 outs here at the top of the 3rd. Serrano needs a pitch here to get back in the count. Serrano sets, deals. That one is inside, and that will not do it, as that'll be a walk for Maximak, who now is having to run over to first. I don't know why Charnetsky didn't make a throw. However, he sprinted over there anyway. And so now we go back to the top of the lineup, and Alex Dautier, he is number 99, who will actually be there. Once again, I do apologize, but there's no 26 on my lineup card. Still 2 outs here, and a runner on first in Maximak. Serrano sets, deals, swung on and chopped back straight, almost into the window. That was about a foot above our heads. That's the first time actually all season.
I would have loved to.
Max was ready to catch. He had his arms out. He was ready to go. He was ready to catch that one if in case. I just prayed that that one didn't hit the camera, or otherwise we wouldn't have had a live stream. That is the closest one I've had. I had one 2 feet to the right of the window one time, but that is the closest one. That is called strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Dautier. 2 outs here. 0-2 count. What do you think Serrano's going here to end this inning?
I see Kevin mixing in an off-speed here. I think he's thrown 2 fastballs so far, so maybe a slider low and outside. Let's see. No, he threw it.
There it is. There it is. Max calls it again. That one was low and outside. However, unfortunately, Dautier didn't quite fall for it. So now the count will be 1-2 to Dautier. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Still, it'll be what I'm going to call Alex Maximak over there at first. Once again, I do apologize. I don't have a 26 on my lineup card. Serrano sets, deals. That one is inside, ball 2 now. Deuces wild goes the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Serrano sets, fire, swung on and chopped over to Muzio. That'll be a base hit. That one gets by Muzio, and that'll be a single for Alex Dautier here with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd to keep the Fingerlakes alive. That one was impressive. Muzio reached all the way out to try and stop that one. Couldn't quite get his mitt on it, though.
Just a little out of the reach there, yeah.
Now that I'll bring up number 37, Ian Rahale, who grounded out in his first at-bat earlier in the ball game. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Now runners on first and second for the Fingerlakes here. We're trying to tie up a 2-1 ball game as Serrano deals. That one is outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Rahale. Serrano looks over to second. What I'm going to call Maximak. Serrano sets, fires. That one is called strike 1. Nice pitch there. Was that the slider, I think?
Looked like it, yeah. I believe so.
That was the slider. That was the pitch that he hasn't been hitting all night, but he got that one. That was a nice little low and outside. Called strike 1. 1-1 the count. Serrano deals. That one is outside. Ball 2 now. 2-1 the count to Rahale now, and 2 outs here still in the top of the 3rd. Serrano looks over to second and will set fire. That one is just outside, ball 3. 3-1 the count now to Rahale. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Serrano, 3-1 the count, set, steal, swung on a driven right field side. That one just out of play. That one looked like it was going right down the line.
Yeah, that one looked like it was going to be fair from up here, that's for sure.
You know, it's a little bit hard to judge the foul lines from all the way up here in the press box. Once again, this is the farthest that the camera is away in any stadium by far.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a bit harder to tell from up here. 3-2 the count now. Big pitch. Serrano sets, fires. That one is outside, ball 4, and that will load the bases here for the Fingerlakes with 2 outs here still in the top of the 3rd inning. No bullpen action, so Serrano's going to be out there, even though, once again, like I mentioned before, him and Burkan were the only 2 pitchers I was given on the lineup card, so I wouldn't be surprised if Serrano's pitching at least half this one. Even though we are approaching half, as it's a 7-inning ball game, I have to keep reminding myself that. I keep looking up at the scoreboard and thinking it's 9 innings. It's only 7th here tonight. Serrano now will be facing number 15, Tyler Korski, and that one will be called ball 1.
I think this is going to be a big test for Serrano because he has put himself in positions like this before and hasn't really gotten out of it. And I think this will be a big confidence booster if he does. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Bases loaded here. This is a bases loaded jam with 2 outs. So big at-bat here. 1-0 the count to Korski. Serrano sits, fires. That one is called ball 2 now. 2-0 the count to Korski. Serrano definitely needs a pitch here to get back into the at-bat. Think he stays fastball here?
Yeah, 2-0. I like fastball with bases loaded. Doesn't seem like he's had his command these last 2 hitters, so I'm hoping he throws a fastball and gets a nice little rollover or a pop fly. Trust our defense.
Serrano sets, fires. That is exactly what he got. Max called it. That one is going to Basaccia. No, it'll be going to Levesque in left, and that will do it on a pop out here. No runs given up for the Fingerlakes here on the top of the 3rd. We go to the bottom of the 3rd right after this.
It's not a job that you got to drag yourself out of bed to get here. It's you wake up every morning excited to be here. This is the most wonderful place to work.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It'll be a new pitcher on the mound for the Fingerlakes, as that's swing and a miss there by Joseph Kelson, who'll be leading off for the Pioneers this inning. It'll be number 38, Tage Stewart, on the mound now for the Fingerlakes. And Stewart fires. That one is swung on. That'll be a base hit for Kelson, a single into left field. A very nice start for Kelson. And another hit for him in an exhibition game here. Maybe one day we will see him in a league game go two ways. We've seen several players do it before, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's next up on the list. It'll now be number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the catcher up. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Swing, and it's chopped left field side foul, and the count will go 0-1. 0-1 the count to Char. No outs here in the bottom of the third, and of course, nicknamed Charizard by clubhouse manager Ben, who he affectionately calls him. 0-1 the count. Stewart fires. That one is upstairs. Ball 1. 1-1 the count now to Charnetsky. No outs here in the bottom of the third. Kelson now lead off of first. Stewart sets, deals. That one is upstairs. Ball 2. It looked like Kelson was about to steal. Do you think he steals here with no outs?
I could see it. I mean, I've never really seen how fast he is, but it looks like there he goes.
And there he goes, right as soon as we call for it. That pitch is way outside, and Kelson's going to go over to third as that pitch got behind the second baseman. That was a really poor pitch there by the catcher. And so now it'll be 2-2 the count to Charnetsky, as that was called strike 2. And now a runner on third for the Pioneers in Kelson.
It's hard to blame the catcher for that one because, I mean, Joe's lead was so far, the pitcher has to pick up on that, just in my opinion. But
yeah, I mean,
pay for your mistakes.
He was halfway there before the catcher even reacted, and that's ball 3 now. 3-2 to Char here. You think Char gets one here on a 3-2 count, or do you think he gets walked?
I think he gets one here, and I think he drives him in. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see.
Stewart fires. That's going to be a hit by pitch. Charnetsky's being beat up tonight. That's his second hit by pitch of the game. I mean, I remember, I think it was Muzio who had 3 back-to-back-to-back in one game.
That was against Batavia.
Yeah, I felt so bad for Muzio in that game because I was like, he's just being pummeled by pitches. Like, he's just getting beat up.
It's hard, too, for Char because, you know, he catches once in every 2 weeks, and he's taking a pummel behind the plate, having to block balls, and then he goes up to bat and he gets hit by plate.
Speaking of Muzio, here he is up at the plate now, number 77, the first baseman tonight. He was walked in his first at-bat early in the ballgame. 0-1 the count to Muzio. No outs here, still in the bottom of the third. Char off of first. And Stewart fires. That one is popped up, left field side, a foul, and that one will be out of play.
No. And the third baseman catches that one.
Third baseman caught that. It's hard to tell from up here, but that is going to be a pop-out for Muzio, so that'll be one away here now in the bottom of the third. Max is going to have to be my eyes in the left field. We're a little bit crammed in here in the press box in Dunn Field. It's a tight space up here. And, of course, the first guy I bring up here is 6'4", and like the biggest pitcher I could have possibly brought up. One out here in the bottom of the third. Either way, I've really enjoyed this. As Char's now going to steal second. That is going to be a base hit by Nas. Char's going to go at least to third. He might be coming home. Kelson's going to come home and score. And Charnetsky's going to be over there at third. So it's a 3-1 ball game now for the Pioneers. Off of an RBI single by Kevin Noss, who is replacing Cooper Smith. Just as I said, it'll now be Noss who is getting that RBI single. Smith RBI singled in his first at-bat, and now Noss replacing him RBI singles in his first at-bat. There you go. Still only one out here in the bottom of the third. Still runners on the corners for the Pioneers. Stewart sets, deals. That one is outside, and that gets by the catcher, and that might score Charnetsky. No, he's going to stay, but Noss will now go over to second. So now 2 runners in scoring position now for the Pioneers here at second and third. No steals are available as the bases are both clogged. But still, I think if one more pitch gets by the catcher, I think Char's going to come in and score. 1-0 the count now, and set fire. That's to Griffin Yastrzemski, who's now up at the plate. I'm assuming that is just going to be called strike 1.
No, Griffin's the right guy to have up here because he has a lot of pull side power. So
oh yeah, we saw him hit one in Buffalo Can he hit one here to drive in 2 runs? Let's see it. 1-1 the count. Stewart sets, deals, swung on it, driven straight up into the center field gap. That'll be thrown over to first in time, and that'll score Char. So Char will score on technically, I guess, a sacrifice ground out by Griffin Yastrzemski. So that will drive in a run, and it is a 4-1 lead here. And of course, siren, it's always good to hear the siren. What's your guys' opinions on the siren? How well can you hear it down there in the dugout?
Oh, we can hear it pretty loud. I mean, so our first week here when you guys were testing it out, I was kind of confused what the sirens were for, but then when we got in game, I've fallen in love with it, that's for sure.
I do remember that as we were testing it out here, I believe during your guys' last practice, and I'm sure you might have been thrown in that one.
Yep.
And then you all of a sudden hear the siren because we were just playing with it up here. We had no intention. And then a couple times during the first couple of ABs, we also, like, anytime you guys hit homers, we also put up the siren.
Yeah.
We had an 0 on the count to Hernandez now. And Hernandez, it's back-to-back guys with home run power. As that one is outside from Stewart, ball 1. Hernandez, also another guy who can drive in the runner at third, who is Kevin Noss. And make this a 6-1 ball game real quick. We saw him just do one against Auburn. And that'll be swung on and driven into center field. Center field going back for it and makes the play. So that'll be 2 outs. But that will be a sacrifice fly for Hernandez as that'll score Kevin Noss. Or no, that's actually 2 outs. Scoreboard had it wrong. That will end the, that's actually the bottom of the third. I had it wrong this entire time. That was the bottom of the third inning. That'll do it for Max Gentile here today.
Thank you for having me up here, Alex.
Of course,
awesome.
Man. It was an absolute honor. It was awesome to have you up here. So we'll go to the top of the 4th inning right after this. However, this will be it for Max Gentile. Thank you, brother, for coming on the stream.
Thank you.
Came in for an interview, and I started driving. My name is Randy Ramnarayan. I'm the Director of Transportation here at TransDev, and I've been here on property for 16 years. People come up to you and say, hey, I remember you as an operator, and you did this for me. And it just overwhelms me, and it makes me so joyful to know that I made a difference. Everyone from the CEO, COO, all the way down, it's the same message. Customer engagement, employee engagement. This is what we do here at TransDev.
Have a nice day.
It's not a job that you gotta drag yourself out of bed to get. It's you wake up every morning excited to be here. This is the most wonderful place to work.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. Unfortunately now it is a solo stream, but you just heard from Max Gentile who was up here. Thank you once again, Max, for coming on up to the live stream. And like I said before, this will be a recurring theme. I may actually be joined by a second guest here tonight. In this game, I may be joined by Cooper Smith, who I know wanted to be on the live stream, so he might be coming up here at some point during the end of this ball game. So we'll have to see whether that happens or not. But anyway, no matter what, I will try and make sure to get more players on the live streams. I'm going to try and do it almost every single game. I want to have a player on the live stream. And so I'm going to make sure to try and make that happen and do the best that I can. Ultimately, it's up to the players, but I know several of them are really excited to come up here on the live stream. Max was awesome for the first one, and maybe Cooper will come up and join me in a little while. 1-0 the count to Michael Brown here now. Kevin Serrano still on the mound for the Pioneers. And Serrano sits fires. That one is just outside, ball 2. 2-0 the count to Brown here now. Brown, number 13, was walked in his first at-bat against Serrano earlier in the ball game. Serrano now, as we'll have to wait as time is called there for Brown. No outs here at the top of the 4th inning. I do apologize once again for having it say the top of the 3rd and the bottom of the 3rd, but I got a little bit caught up. It is the top of the 4th for real, though, I promise. And that one is a swing and a miss there by Brown. And a nice pitch by Serrano to now make the count 2-1. And there have been some changes. I mentioned earlier with Max on that there were going to be some more changes, and there have been. Michael Zordani, who is a pitcher, normally a reliever for the Pioneers, is over at first, and it's Zach Nelson over at third, replacing Ray Hernandez, and Zordani is replacing Joe Muzio. So those are the only changes so far. Still Zealy and Bisaccia at second and short. That one is outside. 3-1 now goes the count to Brown. But like I said before, Coach Drum is trying to get everyone some ABs today, so it's going to be a bit of a wild sort of game here with a bunch of rotations, even though I think it always is when it's an exhibition game. 3-1 the count now to Brown. Serrano sets, deals. That one is called strike 2, and a nice pitch there by Serrano to keep himself alive and stave off the walk. 3-2 goes the count. No outs here in the top of the fourth. Serrano now will set, fire, swung on a chopped over to Nelson at third. Nelson, the normal pitcher, throws to Zordani, another pitcher at first in time. And that'll be one away. A nice play there by the two pitchers throwing to one another. That's great to see. And that's one out here in the top of the fourth inning. And now that'll bring up number 39, Cody Sayer, who popped out in his first at-bat earlier in the ball game, with now one out here in the top of the fourth. Serrano now will set, fire. That one is way inside, and Sayer to back out of the way of that one. Count goes 1-0 now. 1-0 the count to Sayer, one out here in the top of the fourth. Serrano now, 1-0 the count still. Will now set, fire. That one is down low. 2-0 goes the count now to Sayer. One out here in the top of the fourth. And just as a reminder to everyone, this kind of got glanced over. This is only a 7-inning ball game, so we're halfway through this ball game after this half inning. And that one's outside, ball 3 now. 3-0 the count to Sayer. Serrano needs a pitch here to get back into the at-bat. Once again, it's only him and Burkhan tonight listed. Then again, there could be other pitchers who may throw. I wouldn't be surprised if McGovern also gets some time on the mound tonight. And that one is showed bunt by Sayer. Sayer just ditches the bat as that was called ball 4 and sprints over there to first. I don't know. Once again, that's twice now we've seen some of the Fingerlakes just sprint over to first even though it was a walk. So I don't know what they're sprinting for, but they are sprinting anyway. And so that'll be a ball 4 walk here. One out in the top of the fourth inning, and now that'll bring up number 4, Blake Van Wart. Actually, once again, I keep forgetting there's no positions here labeled for the Fingerlakes. He singled in his first at-bat as that one is called outside, ball 1 by Serrano. 1-0 the count to Van Wart. One out here in the top of the fourth. And it'll still be Sayer over there at first. Serrano now will set, fire. That one is inside. Ball 2 now. 2-0 the count. One out here still in the top of the fourth inning. Sayer over there at first for the Fingerlakes. Once again, it's a red-on-red kind of game. Unfortunately, I wish the Pioneers would wear their blues. I thought they wore their blues in the last exhibition game, and yet they're not wearing them today. So I think that's probably because they're going on the road tomorrow to Jamestown, and they'll need them for that game. 3-0 the count now to Van Wart, as that was a ball inside from Serrano. Still only one out here. Serrano in danger of giving up back-to-back walks here. And this would be quite the jam for him. Serrano looks over to Sayer first. Well, now set, fire. That one is called strike 1, and there's going to be an attempted tag out. And Zealy's trying to argue the call here. It looked like he might have gotten a piece of him. However, Sayer will be safe over there at second. He does steal second. 3-1 now the count to Van Wart. One out here in the top of the fourth. Serrano looks over to Sayer, who is very much threatening as if he's going to steal again. That one gets by Charnetsky. That'll be a walk, and that'll advance the runner. Sayer almost came home. However, he stops at third. That's back-to-back walks for Kevin Serrano here. It's still only one out here in the top of the fourth, so still a lot of room for Fingerlakes to do some damage. It's a 4-1 ball game, so Pioneers with a comfortable lead. Now, assistant coach Eugene Barber is going to come and talk to everyone in the infield, and mainly probably Serrano, but still the infield will come in, and now the runners will take a quick break. So once again, as I will quickly show now the upcoming schedule for the Pioneers. Like I said before, they're going to Jamestown tomorrow, Friday the 30th of June. They'll be at Jamestown trying to get a win against Jamestown. They're 0-2 against them so far, so that's a big one tomorrow. Then they start a 3-game home stretch where they'll be home on the first versus Niagara when it is C-Tram Passenger Appreciation Night. On the second versus Batavia, they'll also be home. That's Free Hilliard Thunder Sticks and Duncan Night. And on the third versus Geneva, that's fireworks presented by Hilliard and STCF for the 4th of July, as that'll be July 3rd. And now it looks like the mountain meeting's over here. Runners on first and third for the Fingerlakes here now. Only one out, and it'll be number 12, Michael Hayes, now up. And that'll actually be outside. And now the runners trying to tag up and score. They're going to call him out. Charnetsky able to get the tag there at home, and it'll be number 23. I know I have a 23 on my lineup card. Let me find it real quick. 23 is Trek Van Lort. Excuse me if I'm saying that wrong. But it is Trek Van Lort, who is now pinch hitting for Michael Hayes. Serrano fires. That one is upstairs. Call ball 1. 1-1 the count now to Van Lort. 2 outs here now in the top of the 4th inning as it was Charnetsky able to pick off the runner who was trying to steal home. Serrano sets, steals. That one is outside, ball 2 now. 2-1 the count to Van Lort. 2 outs here still in the top of the 4th inning. That one is way outside from Serrano as Van Lort had to duck out of the way of that one, and the count goes 3-1. 3-1 the count to Trek Van Lort here, and 2 outs still in the top of the 4th. Serrano now, still 3-1 the count. Will set, fire. That one is outside, ball 4. That'll be 3 straight walks from Kevin Serrano. Luckily, because of the pickoff at home, there's only runners on first and second, and it's still 2 outs, which is very much advantageous, as otherwise it would have been another bases-loaded jam with only 1 out on the board. However, it is only runners on first and second with 2 outs. It'll be number 10, Kyle Ripley, up at the plate now for the Fingerlakes. Serrano still only needs 1 out to get himself out of this inning and send us to the bottom of the 4th. And Burkan is warming in the bullpen, so this might be Serrano's last half inning here, as that one is fouled off from Ripley, and the count goes 0-1. 0-1 the count to Ripley. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Once again, this is only a 7-inning ball game, so we're halfway through it after this half inning. Serrano now will set, fire. That one is outside. Call. No, that's actually called strike 2. That one looks like it was outside. However, that's going to be called strike 2 now. 0-2 the count to Ripley here. This would be a big strikeout for Serrano. He doesn't have a strikeout so far. This would be his first. Serrano sets, steals. That one is way outside. That one gets by Charnetsky, and now the runners will advance. 1-2 the count to Ripley. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th, and now runners on second and third for the Fingerlakes here. Burkan still warming in the bullpen for the Pioneers. 1-2 the count now to Ripley. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Serrano now will set, fire. That one is outside. Called ball 2 now. Deuces wild the count. It is here now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Serrano shakes his head once, now nods. Now we'll set, fire, swung on it, popped up, right field side. Nod's coming in on it and will make the play. And that'll end the inning. No runs for the Fingerlakes in the top of the 4th inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th right after this.
Owned and operated since 1905. At the Hilliard Corporation, we've proven ourselves time and time again as the leading industrial manufacturer in the Elmira and Southern Tier region. We make the product.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I teased it a little bit how a second guest might be joining me, and I do have a second guest here with me tonight who will be color commentating with me. It'll be Cooper Smith, number 8, who just was starting out there in right field, decided to come up and join me. Thank you so much for coming up and joining me here, Cooper.
Yeah, no problem, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. And now, of course, Pioneers, we're doing pretty well in this one so far. I mean, 4-1 lead. Serrato's been doing pretty good tonight. Me and Max talked about that a little bit earlier. And now, of course, leading off this inning, it'll be the Pioneers up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And still it is, I believe it's Stewart on the mound. I believe it's 38 still on the mound. And so leading off, it'll be number 4, Weston Gingrich, the center fielder tonight. So far, he lined out in his first at-bat. And, of course, you've been a fixture in the Pioneers lineup so far throughout this season since you joined the team. And so how have the couple past days been? You guys have been on rest for the past 3 days. What have you guys been up to?
Yeah, it's been pretty rough, honestly. I don't think we've had a summer where we've had consistently 3 days off, but instead of using the field, you know, we've got our work in wherever we can, whether it be in the weight room or in a batting cage off campus. So it's been good, and we've been putting in the work and get ready for Jamestown.
Absolutely, and you are mentioning the game that we are going on the road tomorrow to Jamestown.
Yes, sir.
That's a big one. 0-2 against them so far. You guys are looking to pick up a win for the first time against them. That'll be a big one. 0-1 the count now to Weston Gingrich, and Stewart will set deal. Swing and a miss there by Gingrich. 0-2 now. And Cooper, you were really excited to come up here on the stream. I know you talked to me about it a little bit earlier. I mean, have you ever had any ambitions to be like a broadcaster at any point or anything sort of like that?
I actually have not. I just found it pretty interesting and thought I might try it.
Well, it's always awesome to try new things. That one is popped up by Gingrich, and that one will be called on by the right fielder, and that'll be an out. And Gingrich pops up for one away here in the top of the the bottom of the 4th. What am I saying? And now that'll bring up number 30, Cam Levesque, the left fielder tonight, who was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. And, of course, there's a big rotation. I'm pretty sure we got a couple pitchers coming up in Zordani and Nelson somewhere in the lineup, as I know Joe's been pulled out, and I think Jorge Hernandez as well has been also pulled out so far in this one. What do you expect to see from Cam here in this at-bat, though? I got a bit of a pitcher's side from Max. I want to hear a bit more of the batter side from you here, Cooper.
I think he's looking to make an adjustment this at-bat. You know, these games, we use these to, you know, tune up, get ready for our next league games, and I think Cam could definitely be a staple in this lineup. if he keeps making those adjustments. I played with him all year in school, and I know what he can do. And he's definitely one of those guys that I can see.
Absolutely. I mean, I forgot. You guys are both Northern Essex Community College guys, right?
We are.
That's awesome. 0-2 the count out to Levesque. Stewart sets, fires. That one is down low and inside, ball 1. And, of course, I want to talk to you a little bit about what is your approach to the play whenever you're coming up. Obviously, it's a bit different tonight as you guys are going up against 18U guys, but what's your normal approach if you're going up for a league game like you will be tomorrow, most likely? Swing and a miss there by Levesque.
Normal approach is try to be simple with it. Baseball and hitting is already hard enough as it is. So I just like to think, hit a line drive at the second baseman with the fastball, and then that'll get me on time for any off-speed pitches I see. So try to keep it as simple as possible and, just bat the ball, I guess. Hit something hard somewhere.
Absolutely. I mean, I appreciate you because you've given me a lot of advice as I've gone out there and gotten some VP with you guys, and I appreciate all the advice you've given me so far. And, of course, now up at the plate it'll be number 22, Nick Bisacci, who's returning from injury. And Max talked a little bit about this, but what do you want to see from Nick tonight? As he's coming off of an injury for the past couple weeks, he hasn't been around the team. What do you want to see from him? So far, he's only lined out, but he did almost get a blooper. That was a great play by the right fielder.
Yeah, I think that was a good AB. From him, I just want to see, him getting back into the swing of things. I think he could also be one of those guys for us in the infield. We're constantly rotating our lineup every game. So, just having that competitiveness in the rotation to, have guys battle each other out in the infield, outfield, wherever it may be. I think it's huge to have him back.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you can always use more players that can give you guys pop in the lineup.
Absolutely.
3-0 the count now to Bisaccia. You think he gets the green light on this one?
I'd say so.
That was outside ball 4. He didn't get the green light. However, he does draw a walk, and that will be 4 straight balls from Stewart. And now that'll bring Nick Bisaccia over to first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. So a nice leadoff walk there, or excuse me, not a leadoff walk, but a walk in general for the Pioneers here. And now it'll bring up back up top the leadoff man at number 16, Christian Zeely, the second baseman tonight. And so far, Zeely's had a little bit of a rough night. He got hit by a pitch at his first at-bat and then struck out in his second at-bat. Looking to change his luck here. Zeely, one of the two-way players. He can pitch and bat. We've seen him do both so far this season. And what do you think a two-way guy like Zeely brings to a lineup in terms of a hitter?
I think he brings a lot, honestly. I think having a guy that can both, field his position on the mound when he's pitching and stick it in the lineup too, I think it's huge. And you don't see very many of those guys anymore. They're quite rare. But Zeely's definitely one of those guys that can compete at both levels, whether it be on the mound or in the field.
Absolutely. And Griffin Yastrzemski, another guy in this lineup who is also another two-way player, as he's both pitched and hit for us. That was a bit of a wild throw from the catcher. They're trying to get Bisaccia out at second on a throw-out. Unable to do so, went behind, I believe it was a shortstop, and now Bisaccia all the way over there at third now. Zeely, you think, gets the green light on this next pitch, as that one is called strike 1, in order to try and drive in Bisaccia with 2 outs here, because he does pretty much need almost a base hit unless the pitch is going to get behind the catcher.
I think the goal is just to barrel up something here and just challenge the defense. You never know with this field at the Dunn.
Absolutely. Do you regard this field? Where do you place this field? To all the fields so far that we've played on so far, where do you place Dunn Field here at home?
I think it's a beautiful ballpark, great scenery and everything. It's probably one of the top, I'd say.
That one is going to maybe drop. No, that'll be a line out to the center fielder to end the bottom of the 4th inning. As I unfortunately had to cut you off there, Cooper, but that one was a line out to center. And so that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th. No runs for the Pioneers. We go to the top of the 5th right after this. Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 5th inning here, and a bunch of changes just happened, so I'm going to run you through them real quick. It is now Nick Ficcaro, normally a pitcher, over there at center field, replacing, I believe he's replacing Weston Gingrich. He is. And now it'll also be Kevin Serrano, who we just saw on the mound, now playing second base, replacing Christian Zeely. And it'll be number 23, Eric Burkan, now on the mound for the Pioneers here. Once again, I'm still joined here by Cooper Smith along at my side to provide some color commentary. And now it'll be leading off this inning. It will be number 34, Brody Huey, unless this is another pitch hitter. No, this is 38, so let me find out who this is real quick. It is Tage Stewart, so it's actually the pitcher who we just saw pitching. It is Tage Stewart here now.
Another two-way for you.
Yep, exactly. A lot of these 18U guys, I believe, are two-ways. Swing and a miss there by Stewart, and the count goes 0-1. A nice first pitch there by Burkan to get him to go swinging. And now, you could talk a little bit about this as well. If you're one of the 18U players, what is your approach to the plate now trying to face these college pitchers?
I'd, again, keep it as simple as possible. It can be a little bit overwhelming. I know that step from high school to college is a big one for sure. In terms of, pitch selection and things like that, but I wouldn't want to try to do too much and get in my head too much. Like I said, hitting's already as hard as it is, so I just want to simplify and just react to every pitch.
Absolutely, and I mean, we have seen a couple of hits here, and there's obviously a run on the board for the Fingerlakes, so the 18U kids have been doing a pretty good job of that. And you obviously mentioned the step from high school to college in terms of baseball. I'm sure that is a big one. And I'm sure everyone on the Pioneers roster could probably attest to that. That'll be a ball outside that gets by Charnetsky, and that will be an out as Charnetsky's able to turn over to Zordani at first in time. So technically that is going to be a ground out, I'm going to call it. And so that'll be one away here for Burkan in the top of the 5th inning. And now that'll bring up, it'll be another pinch hitter, number 27. I'm glad I left my picture up here. Sean Burbniak is, I believe, who this is. This is number 27, Sean Burbniak, I believe is who it is. So, bunch of pitch hitters tonight, and of course, we've seen that from both sides in terms of, obviously, you were starting out there and right just a little while ago. Now you're up here in the press box with me. So, a bunch of rotations. Always Drum keeping me on my toes up here in the press box for every exhibition game. I feel like, just got to always just double check every single outfielder out there.
Oh,
to the count now to Burbniak. I'm sorry, what were you going to say there, Cooper?
I was just going to say, yeah, it's constantly changing in these kinds of games, so it really does keep you on your toes.
Absolutely. As someone who's trying to keep score and updated stats and stuff, it's like constant cycling over. 1-2 the count now from Burkan. One out here in the top of the 5th. Burkan sets, fires. That one is upstairs, ball 2. And we have seen Burkan in a couple games so far this season. He's made 2 appearances. It is a 45 ERA, only 1 inning pitched. He has 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 strikeout, and a 1-0 record on his resume so far. So pretty good start. That's a strikeout for him right there. Swing and a miss from Burbniak. And he goes down swinging, and now that'll bring up 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Nice play there by Burkan in order to get him to go down swinging. Serrano didn't have a single strikeout so far in his first start, so big change here now with Burkan already picking up his first. And once again, this is only a 7-inning game. And how much of a difference does that really make for you guys, 7 innings to 9 innings?
Honestly, it doesn't make a whole lot. Just the extra 2 innings aren't that big of a difference. I just see it as, 2 more opportunities to score and 2 more opportunities to get outs. So
I think that's a great mentality to have with the extra 2 innings that you get. That's a great mentality right there. Oh, on the count. That one's outside down low. Ball 1 now. Evens up the count 1-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And of course now, you guys are about to go on a big homestand after, of course, the road trip to Jamestown. Your guys' next 3 games are at home. How much of an advantage is it playing here at Dunn Field? Considering you guys are 8-2 on the year. You guys have barely been beaten here.
Yeah, I think it's a big advantage, honestly, both with the fan support and just being used to how this field plays, how you see the ball out of the pitcher's hand when you're in the box, all that stuff. So I see it as a big advantage since we get to play here almost, every day.
Absolutely, and of course, a big week coming up with like fireworks on the 3rd is coming up, and about 4 games from now, and of course, parents night is coming up as well. And so I know that's a big night for you guys players coming up on the 3rd as well. And of course, you can see the giant yellow square where the tarp was on the field. So field's not looking the best today, but I assure you, probably by the time we get back and play here on Saturday, it'll probably be in pretty good shape. Our grounds crew is really quite good here at Dunn Field. And that'll be a walk for Alex Maximak, who's technically 26. I think it's 26. I think that's Alex Maximak. I don't know. There's no 26 on my lineup sheet, but I'm assuming it's him. Once again, with these exhibition games, it's a little bit broken in terms of the actual information chain from down low in the dugouts to up here in the press box. But now we go back to the top of the lineup at number 99, Alex Dautier. Ground out in his first at-bat and singled in his second at-bat. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And now I was just about to ask you whether you think Maximak is going to steal, and he will steal second. And so that'll be 0-1 the count now to Dautier with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. As Burkhan threw a strike and Dautier swung and missed. But also, Maximak was able to run over there to second. Do you think Maximak will go back-to-back bases here with 2 outs? Just try and get a run?
I'd say so. Putting pressure on the defense, putting pressure on the pitcher. It's always in the back of the pitcher's mind if you got a quick guy on the bases. It really kind of takes their focus off of the batter, so they're not at their full attention.
And then that's obviously a massive advantage for you guys if they let a pitch slide for a little bit or something, then you guys can crush that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to the count now to Dautier. Burkhan can still pick up a strikeout here to be his second to end the inning. And he does. That is a whiff and a miss. And that is the second strikeout for Eric Burkhan. And that will end the top of the 5th inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Pioneers still lead at 4-1. Welcome back to the Pioneers live stream. It is the bottom of the 5th inning here now, and Cooper Smith was just on with me. He is no longer up here in the press box with me. I think that's going to be my last guest for the time being. However, Cooper Smith definitely said that he will come up next time. So definitely Cooper Smith will probably be a recurring player on the live streams. And thank you so much, Cooper, again for coming on and joining me. Provided some great insight. As now leading off the bottom of the 5th inning with number 88, Joseph Kelson, the extra hitter tonight. He struck out in his first at-bat and then singled in his second at-bat. And now it'll be number 4, Blake Van Wart on the mound for the Finger Lakes here. Down 4-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Once again, this is only a 7-inning ball game, so this one quickly running out of time here. Kelson now will await the pitch. 1-0 the count. Van Wart sets, deals, swing, and it's a check swing. They're going to say that he went, and that'll be called strike 1. However, Kelson just swung and then check swung, and it sort of got out of the way. He was ducking to dive out of the way of that pitch. 1-1 the count now, and that one will be down low, ball 1. Or ball 2, excuse me. 2-1 the count now to Kelson. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And Ward fires, swing, and a shot back foul, and the count will even up now. 2-2. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Van Wart will set, deal. That one will be inside, ball 3. 3-2 the count now to Kelson. Full count here now. Big pitch coming up for Van Wart here with no outs in the bottom of the 5th. Van Wart now will set, fire. That one will be a hit by pitch as Kelson was walking away to try and dive out of the way of the pitch, and it still hit his back. That'll be a walk for Kelson. And Kelson stretching his back there after this one. And now coming up is the man who's been hit by a pitch all night tonight, number 24, Eric Charnetsky, the catcher tonight. He was hit by a pitch twice in his first 2 at-bats. And as Max and I mentioned earlier, Muzio got hit 3 times in the game against Batavia a couple days ago. So these players are taking a beating. And Charnetsky, who's catching tonight, has already taken a beating behind the plate and has been hit by a pitch twice. So rough night for him. He's gotten on base a bunch, but he's had to pay the price for it. So it's not a bad night, but certainly a sacrificial one, to say the least, for Charnetsky. Feel for him. 1-0 the count, as that was a ball. That one almost hit him again. So, and Ward sets, deals. That one is upstairs, ball 2. 2-0 the count now to Char. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Like I said before, I will try and get players on the live stream almost every single game here in the month of July, as it is June 29th here, as that one is foul and clangs off the roof of the stadium. 2-1 the count now to Charnetsky. And as I was saying, I will try and get as many players on here to get as many different perspectives as possible. And so, trying to branch out from just hearing my voice to hearing a bunch of the players' voices. And that is a swing and a chop back foul. Count will now even up, 2-2 now to Charnetsky. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And Van Wart sets, fires. That one is swung on a chop foul down the right field line, and that will even up the count at 2-2 still. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Kelson was almost over there at second. However, he was called back, considering the fact remains that that the pitch was foul. So now, 2-2 still the count to Charnetsky. Van Wart looking for his first strikeout here. That one will be outside, and Char having to duck out of the way of that one. At this point, Char, please just duck out of the way of all the pitches. I don't mind if you have to hit the dirt. Just I pray that you do not get hit again, because that would be your 3rd hit by pitch of the night, and that would be really rough. 3-2, swung on a driven left field side, and that one also foul. The count will stay at 3-2. 3-2 3-2 still the count to Charnetsky here, and no outs in the bottom of the 5th inning, and that'll be a swing and a miss. Charnetsky will go down. Does he go down? No, that was a foul. I thought he swung and missed. However, he just tipped it off the end of his bat. And so the count will stay at 3-2. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Kelson off of first now. And Mort will set, deal. That one is down low in the dirt. Ball 4. That'll be a walk for Char, but that'll be an out. And Kelson thrown out at second. And what is happening? Kelson is now over there at second. Charnetsky has not left. He's saying that was ball 3. I had it as ball 4. So, certainly confusing, but I guess now that it's just 3-2 the count still. Kelson somehow safe at second. The umpires are now going to discuss if he's that. Kelson was definitely out. Kelson was 100% out at second. He's still over there at second, and Char still at the plate. And so Kelson's going to be thrown out. So that'll be 1 out on the board, and they're going to say that Char's still 3-2. Exhibition games are certainly weird and wacky. That one was a very interesting, and Kelson arguing the call a little bit as he goes off. I don't know what that was about, but 3-2 the count here now, still to Char. 1 out now in the bottom of the 5th. Swung on a popped up right field side foul by Char, and the count will stay at 3-2. Count will stay 3-2 to Charnetsky. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And Ward will set, deal. That one is down low. That gets by the catcher. If that's not a walk, I don't know what is. That'll be a walk for Charnetsky. The first time he's gotten on base without being hit by a pitch today. So that'll be 3 for 3 in terms of getting on base for Char. However, the first 2 required him to get hit by a baseball. This time, he escapes with no damage. So he is on first now on a ball 4 walk. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. And now that'll bring up number 5, Michael Zordani, who is replacing number 77, Joe Muzio. So Zordani now. Charnetsky's going to go and steal second. He had a massive lead. He's jogging over there, and he will be safe. He was very much peacock strutting over to his second base, and he was very much confident that he could make it. He had a massive lead. I mean, the pitcher didn't even react when Charnetsky started running. 0-1 the count to Zordani here. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Charnetsky now in scoring position over there at second base. And Van Wart sets fires. That one was a lollipop pitch, and Zordani fouls that one off left field side. Count goes 0-2 now. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And so, very interesting situation here now, but Char's over there at second. Zordani, the 0-2 count, trying not to strike out here to keep Char in play. Now, that will be 1-2 now, the count to Zordani, as that was ball down from Van Wart. 1-2 now. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Char takes his lead off second. Van Wart looks over there to second. Char pointing, and that one will be upstairs. Ball 2 now. 2-2 the count as it evens up to Zordani. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Van Wart looks over to Charnetsky. Will set, fire. That one is swung on, driven deep left field. Left fielder going back. It will make the play. Charnetsky's going to go over to third now. The throw-in is not in time, and Charnetsky will be safe there at third off of a line out from Zordani to make it 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And like I said before, this is only a 7-inning ball game. So Pioneers still lead it after the top of the 7th. This one is over. And also, this is only an exhibition game, so no stats, and the record will not be affected for the Pioneers. They will still have the same record and stats going into tomorrow's game against Jamestown. Van Wart will now fire to Noss. Noss, always recognizable by that batting helmet. The black helmet with the white trim. 1-0 the count now to Noss. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Noss, of course, replacing Cooper Smith. In his first at-bat, Noss RBI single to extend the Pioneers' lead. 1-1 the count now, as that was called strike 1 from Van Wart. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Moore now sets, deals, swung on a chop, foul by Noss, and the count quickly goes 1-2 now. Van Moore looking for a strikeout here to end the bottom of the 5th and send us to the top of the 6th. 1-2 the count to to Noss. Van Wart fires, swung on a chop, right field side. Is that going to get down? It will not, as that one will turn foul. That one was once again down the right field line. Just turned foul, and so the count will stay at 1-2. 1-2 the count to Noss. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Van Wart sets, deals. That one is upstairs. Ball 2 here now. And now count goes deuces wild to Noss. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Van Wart sets, deals. That one is outside. Ball 3. Noss almost got hit by that. 3-2 the count now as it fills up. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Van Wart shakes his head once, now twice, now nods. Will set, fire, swung on a driven, straight to the shortstop. Shortstop misses it. That will score a run. And now the Pioneers have a 5-1 lead. As the shortstop errored, and Noss is over there at first. That'll be a reach by error for Kevin Noss, and that is a costly error as that scores a run. And now it is a 5-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Still 2 outs. And now it'll be Griffin Yastrzemski, who has home run power up at the plate. If he could homer here, that'd break this game wide open. Van Wart fires. That one is down low, and Noss successfully steals second. That is ball 1 low and outside. And 1-0 the count now to Yastrzemski. And now a runner at second in Kevin Noss. And Van Wart fires, swung on it, popped up. Deep center. Center fielder going back and will make the play. And that'll end the inning. The line out from Yastrzemski ends it here. No runs for the, 1 run for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 5th, and they make it a 4-1 ball, a 5-1 ball game. We go to the top of the 6th right after this.
Giving our patients the best of themselves is just who we are. Looking forward while embracing our legacy. Staying on the cutting edge while staying connected to our patients. Focusing on state-of-the-art procedures and the most effective care. At Arnett, we're nurses, doctors, and teams of other caregivers inspired by healing. We know your physical, emotional, and spiritual health are each part of the whole of you. To continue a tradition of medicine driven by compassion, teaching, and healing. That's why we're here. It's who we are. It's what we do.
What if white wine was not made for poultry, but for friendship? What if red wine set aside the steak and made room for love? What if we've been drinking wine wrong all along, and instead wine was to be shared as a human experience with love, integrity, and hope? Hi, my name is Greg Taylor. I'm the vineyard manager and property manager of Bully Hill Vineyards, and I'm a 4th generation winemaker and 5th generation grape grower of my family. So it all started with my great-great-grandfather George and his son Walter Taylor Sr. They came up to this region for the promise of a better life due to the rising wine industry on Keuka Lake. Walter Taylor was the one who first started the Taylor Wine Company. The Taylor Wine Company was one of the largest wineries in the United States. My great-grandfather had passed away, and my grandfather Grayton and his 2 brothers Fred and Clarence took over the company at its peak, producing around 40 million gallons of wine a year. Grayton had a son, Walter, who was my father, and he started Bully Hill Vineyards in 1967. My father had a vision for the Fingerlakes wine industry. When Bully Hill was started, only 5 producers existed, and now there's over 300. And he firmly believed that you have to have a certain level of integrity and honesty with the people around you and yourself. And these are kind of the staples of what our business is. Bully Hill was built on the back of French-American hybrid vines.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the top of the 6th inning. Burkhan back on the mound. It'll be number 37, Ian Rahale, up at the plate as that one is chopped foul right field side. And the count quickly goes 0-1 now. Once again, this is only a 7-inning ball game, so only 2 more half innings if the Pioneers keep this lead. Burkhan, 0-1 on the count, sets, deals. That one is way upstairs and outside. Ball 1. A nice catch there by Charnetsky, who is catching. 1-1 now the count to Rahale. No outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Burkhan now will set, deliver, swung on a chop back, foul right field side, and the count quickly goes 1-2 now. Burkhan looking for his 3rd strikeout of the game here to put 1 away in the top of the 6th. Burkhan sets, deals, swung on a chop foul right field side. Count will stay at 1-2. And I believe all the outfielders and infielders are no, there's actually been a change. I cannot quite tell who is in right. It's a single digit, so that narrows it down. It's not Granado. It might be Dom Presto over there in right. I think it is actually Dom Presto. Number 2 over there in right, who would be replacing Kevin Noss in the lineup. That one is fouled back right field side again. Count stays at 1-2. I think Presto in right is the only change. The infield still over there at 3rd is Zach Nelson. Pasaccia at short, who has been there the entire game, 22. 3, Kevin Serrano, who is replacing Zealy. And that one is down low, ball 2 now from Burkhan. 2-2 now the count. And it'll still be Michael Zordani, who was replacing Joe Muzio over there at 1st. Presto in right, Ficcaro in center. And it'll still be Levesque. Levesque and Basacci are the only 2 players that are still remaining from the original starting lineup. As that one will still be now 3-2. Or no, excuse me. That will still be 2-2 now, as that one was chopped back foul. Count will stay at 2-2. Burkhan still looking for his 3rd strikeout here. Burkhan sets, delivers, swung on a chop back foul. Right field side, and the count will stay at 2-2. Once again, only 2 more half innings in this game after this one if the Pioneers still lead it, and considering they're leading it 5-1, there's a pretty good chance. Burkhan now sets, delivers. That one is inside and upstairs, ball 3. 3-2 the count now as it fills up to Rahale. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Burkhan sets, fires, swung on a driven right field side. That might be a base hit unless Presto can run it down. It will be a base hit. That'll be a double for Rahale, who throws down his batting helmet while he runs over there to second. So that will be a double for Rahale. And the Fingerlakes have a base runner on with no outs in the top of the 6th. That was a leadoff double. And now that I bring up number 15, Tyler Korski. Korski so far grounded out in his first at-bat, popped out in his second at-bat. Still no outs here in the top of the 2nd. Runner on second in Ian Rahale for the Fingerlakes. Burkhan looks over to second. Now will set, fire. That one is called strike 1. 0-1 the count out of Korski. No outs in the top of the 6th. Burkhan sets, deals. That one is down low and outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count out of Korski. No outs here in the top of the 6th. Burkhan sets, delivers, swung on a driven into center. Ficcaro going back in will make the play. That'll put 1 out. And still a runner on second here for the Fingerlakes. A line out for Korski. 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. And now that'll bring up number 13, Michael Brown. He was walked in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second at-bat. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Still, it'll be Rahale off of second. Burkhan looks that way. Now we'll set, fire, swung on and shot back, foul, and the count goes 0-1. 0-1 the count now to Michael Brown. One out here in the top of the sixth. Burkhan looks over to second and Rahale. And now we'll check over to second, and that'll be missed by Serrano. And now Rahale is going to go over to third. Burkhan with a bad throw to Serrano, and that'll result in a stolen base for Rahale. And now he's over there at third. 1-1 the count to Brown. One out here in the top of the sixth. Burkhan will set, fire. That one is upstairs, ball one. 1-1 the count now to Brown. One out here in the top of the sixth, so aces wild the count. Burkhan looks over to Rahale, will set, fire. That one is called outside, ball two. That one got away from Charnetsky for a moment, however, he's able to recover. 2-1 the count now to Brown. One out here in the top of the sixth. That one will be outside. 3-1 now the count to Brown. One out here in the top of the sixth. Still, it'll be Rahale over there at third. And that one is called ball four. That'll be a walk for Burkhan, but runners on the corners here for the Fingerlakes. There's only one out in the top of the sixth. Now that'll bring up number 39, Cody Sayer. Sayer now up with only one out and runners on the corners. Burkhan sets, deals. That one is down low, ball one. 1-0 the count now to Sayer. One out here in the top of the sixth. Burkhan now sets, fires. That one is upstairs, and now another throw attempt here. Serrano able to field this one. Throws over to Nelson at third. Great job by Nelson just to catch that one. As that was a wild throw from Serrano. That one had some heat on it. I would expect it, as he is a pitcher. And so 2-0 the count. Serrano, of course, we just saw him starting this game for the Pioneers on the mound. 2-0 the count now to Sayer. One out here in the top of the sixth. And Burkhan fires. That one is upstairs, ball three now. 3-0 the count to Sayer. Burkhan trying not to walk back-to-back batters here and to load the bases for the Fingerlakes. Burkhan now will set, fire. That one will be called ball four upstairs. And now Sayer's going to go over there to first. And now that'll be bases loaded for the Fingerlakes here, as it'll be number 4, Blake Van Wart up to bat. The bases loaded, only one out in the top of the sixth. And now a quick mound meeting with Burkhan. And now Coach Eugene is talking with the umpires real quick. Burkhan with the bases loaded here and only one out in the top of the sixth. I don't think the Pioneers are going to employ any more arms, so Burkhan is on his own. Burkhan now sets, delivers. That one is called strike one. 0-1 the count to Van Wart. A nice job there by Burkhan just to get a strike after walking back-to-back batters. 0-1 the count. Burkhan fires. Swing and a miss there. 0-2 now. This would be a big strikeout for Burkhan. It would be his third of the ball game, as I believe our guest might not be over quite yet. I might have a third player on, as I know there's some up here in the press box. Burkhan sets, fires. That one is dropped back foul and stays 0-2 now the count. 0-2 the count to Van Wart. One out here in the top of the sixth. A big potential third strikeout for Burkhan here. McCann sets, fires. That one is called. Strike 3. He did get the strikeout there. And Wart goes down looking, and that'll put 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. And now that'll bring up number 12. Number 12, I don't have a number 12 on my lineup, so let me take a quick look and see if I can't find out who this is. Number 12. Number 12 who I'm finding out is Micah Hayes. Micah Hayes pinch hitting now for real, as he was relieved earlier. My number 23, and now he's back. So he's back with a vengeance here. And that will be called. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Burkan here now. And that'll end the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th right after this, and maybe I will have another color commentator on. I'll have to go and find out.
Number, I came in for an interview and I started driving. My name is Randy Ramanarayan. I'm the Director of Transportation here at TransDev, and I've been here on property for 16 years. People come up to you and say, hey, I remember you as an operator and you did this for me. And it just overwhelms me, and it makes me so joyful to know that I made a difference. Everyone from the CEO, COO, all the way down, it's the same message. Customer engagement, employee engagement. This is what we do here at TransDev.
Have a nice day.
It's not a job that you gotta drag yourself out of bed to get here. You wake up every morning excited to be here. This is the most wonderful place to work.
Welcome back here to the Pioneers live stream. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. I found out who was poking me in the back of the head with things up here in the Dunfield press box. It was number 25, Griffin Yastrzemski. He declined to go on the stream. However, he did say at one point he will. So maybe next time Griffin will hop on the stream with me. It is the bottom of the 6th inning here. Pioneers almost through this one. It'll be Alex Dautier on the mound. Swing and a miss there by Zach Nelson, who is coming in for Ray Hernandez, who was starting today. It'll now be Nelson over there. And Dardy swings, and Nelson swings, and that one is a base hit into left field, perfectly placed in the gap. And the normal relieving pitcher gets a base hit here, and I believe that is Matt Coronado over there at first. I can't quite tell. I don't know who's over there at third. I think that might be Joe Muzio over there at third. Our first base and third base coaches are the players today. And, of course, exhibition game. Players can pretty much do what they want. And now that'll bring up Number 4, Weston Gingrich. Or, that's not Weston Gingrich. As that is actually Kevin Serrano. Kevin Serrano pinch hitting here. Drums keeping me on my toes. Griffic. Serrano. Serrano now batting. 1-0 the count from Doherty. Nelson over there at first. He thought he was going to steal there. 1-1 the count out to Serrano. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Once again, this is a 7-inning ball game. So, Pioneers almost through this one. 1-1 the count now to Serrano. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th. And Doherty checks over to Nelson at first. Doherty sets, deals. That one gets by the catcher, and that'll advance Nelson at least one bag. He's going to go to third. He's going to risk it. Zach Nelson, the big man, goes over there to third and is safe at third. To a ruckus applause here from the crowd, and the count goes 2-1 to Serrano. No outs here still at the bottom of the 6th. So Nelson now over there at third. He actually had pretty good speed for a big guy himself. And now he was able to get over there to third. Doherty swings. Kevin Serrano swings. And that'll be an RBI single. And Zach Nelson comes in to score. It's a 6-1 ball game. The two pitchers able to link up and get an RBI. An RBI single for Kevin Serrano, and that makes it a 6-1 ball game. Serrano's doing everything tonight. He pitched pretty well to start out this ball game, and now he's RBI singling into left field. What a night for him. Unfortunately, none of it will count, as this is still an exhibition game, so none of the stats in the standings do not count from this game. Doherty fires. That one is down low, ball 1. 1-0 the count now to the Levesque. Levesque, one of 2 players in the lineup. It's the number 9 and the number 10 hitters. Levesque and Bisaccia are the only 2 hitters that are actually still in there from the starting lineup. That one is chopped foul, left field side. And the count will go 1-1. 1-1 to Levesque. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th. And a runner on first in Kevin Serrano. I don't know if Kevin Serrano is going to try and steal 2 bases, but we'll see. 1-1 the count. Doherty fires. Swung on and chopped over to the third baseman. He's going to turn 2 here as he throws the second in time. Not quite it to first in time. So Levesque will be safe at first on a fielder's choice. And Serrano will be thrown out at second. So that's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. And now we go to the bottom of the lineup. It'll now be Max Gentile. Max Gentile, who I just had up here on the stream, is now taking at-bats. I literally talked to him about getting some ABs, and then all of a sudden he's down there hitting now. And now, check swing there by Gentile, and the count goes 1-0. 1-0 the count to Gentile. Gentile replacing Bisaccia. I can't believe it. Gentile, who literally just said that his time was past, and now he's going down there and getting ABs. 1-0 the count. Fire, swung on and chopped back foul by Gentile. And the count goes, ace is wild here now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. This is chaos. I can't believe Gentile is down there. He literally just told me that he was done putting up the jersey, just sticking the pitching, and now he's going down there, take some ABs. That one is down low and outside, and that'll advance Levesque as that one gets by the catcher. 2-1 the count now to Gentile. I would love Gentile to put a base hit in the left field right now. That would be clutch. Love to see it. 2-1 the count. He has a chance. And that one will be called strike 2 from Doherty there. Count now evens up at 2-2 to Gentile. 1 out here. That's going to be called strike 3. I didn't even notice that. That is called strike 3. I guess he goes down swinging. I was a strike behind on that, but I guess he goes down. Strikeout for Doherty. And now that'll bring him number 55, Nick Vaccaro, who is Pinch hitting here for Zealy. Like I said, this is absolute chaos right now. Everybody's just getting ABs. And so that one will get by the catcher, and Levesque not even going to go over to third. He's just like, I'm good. I'm good over here at second. 1-0 the count now to Figaro. One out here, still in the bottom of the sixth. Doherty deals, and that one is down low. Ball 2 now. 2-0 the count. 2-0 the count to Figaro. Once again, a normal pitcher. He's playing center right now, even though he might be playing second base after this. We'll see. Doherty deals. That one is down low. Ball 3 now. 3-0 the count to Figaro. Only one out here in the bottom of the sixth. The dugout clamoring for Figaro to get on base. 3-0 the count. He has an opportunity here. Doherty sets, fires. That one is down low. Gets by the catcher. That'll be a ball 4 walk. And Levesque is able to steal third. They're going to call that a strike, actually. I thought that was ball 4. I thought he was pointing. The umpire was pointing over to Figaro to go over to first. However, he didn't. Count out 3-1. Figaro can still get over now. Doherty deals. That one will certainly do it. That'll score a run as that one gets by the catcher. And so now it is a 7-1 ball game here in the bottom of the sixth. Still only one out, and Figaro now over there at first. Griffin Yastrzemski is once again still hitting me with a baseball bat up here in the press box. It's an inflatable one that we keep up here. It'll be Kelson now, number 88, Joseph Kelson, the extra hitter tonight, who will be at the plate now. Runner at first in Figaro. One out here in the bottom of the sixth. And now a 7-1 ball game. Kelson sets fire, or excuse me, Doherty sets fires. That one is down low, called strike 1. 0-1 the count to Kelson here. Pioneers just looking to get outs at this point. I mean, let's move this thing along. We've been in the bottom of the sixth for quite a while. This is an exhibition game, only 7 innings. Doherty fires. That one's upstairs. And Figaro's going to try and steal second. And he will steal second. He'll be safe there at second. The count goes aces wild to Kelson as it's 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. But Figaro now over there at second. Kelson now awaits the pitch. Doherty sets, deals. That one is down low. Ball 2 now to Kelson. 2-1 the count as he takes the lead. Kelson takes the lead in the count here. Only 1 out in the bottom of the sixth. Once again, Figaro still over there at second. Doherty fires. Swing and a miss there by Kelson. And the count evens up. 2-2 now. It'll be Charnetsky. Looks like he's still there after Kelson. And that'll be swung on a shot back foul by Kelson as that clangs off the metal roof. Count will stay at 2-2. Doherty will set, deal. That one will be called strike 3. And Kelson goes down looking. That's a second strikeout for Kelson of the night. And now that'll bring up number 24, Eric Charnetsky, who apparently seems to be the only one who is left in this lineup that hasn't been replaced for a pinch hitter. And so Charnetsky now, and actually that's going to be called. They're going to end the inning here. I guess go to the top of the seventh on just mercy. Max Zantil is going out into the infield. I don't know what position he's playing. It looks like he's going to be over there at second. We'll have to see. But I will be taking a quick break here as it'll be the top of the seventh and Fingerlakes down to the last 3 outs right after this. Welcome back to the Pioneers live stream. We're in the top of the 7th, so last inning of this ball game here, and Max Gentile will be playing shortstop for this top of the 7th, and it's so funny how we just had this conversation when he was on the air with me a little earlier in this one, how I said to him, maybe you should go out there and like do an all pitchers, infield, outfield for an exhibition game, and he said, yeah, but I kind of hung up my jersey in that, and I'm just going to stick to pitching. Here on the top of the 7th, I have evidence to prove otherwise, as he is out there at shortstop. So, I don't know whether that conversation inspired him or whether Drum talked him into it. I don't know. But I'm going to talk to him and ask him about it after this game. Burkhan's still on the mound, and that'll be a swing and a miss from Kyle Ripley, who is leading off this inning. 3 outs for the Pioneers, and they walk away with a win from this exhibition game. 0-1 the count. Burkhan sets, deals. That one is called. Strike 2. 0-2 to the count now here. If Burkhan can strike out the side, I would love to see it. 0-2 the count. He can get his first one here. Burkhan now sets, fires. That is check swing. Just pop foul. That is like the weakest swing I've ever seen. And he just bunted the ball into right field foul. 0-2 still the count. Burkhan, strike him out right here on this pitch. Let's get one away. It'll be Ripley awaiting. As Burkhan now will set, fire. That one will be down low, ball 1. So he couldn't quite answer my call, but still 1-2. He can still pick it up here. It'd be back-to-backs. It'd actually be 3 in a row for Burkhan if he picks up a strikeout here on this 1-2 count. Burkhan now sets, fires, swung on a chop back foul, right field side. Ripley able to stay alive. Count will stay at 1-2. It is actually, as I'm just confirming it, it is actually at all pitchers infield, as that is a swing and a miss, and there is the third strikeout in a row for Burkhan. I was just talking to Gentile about this earlier, how they should do it all pitchers infield and outfield for an exhibition game. They have an all pitchers infield right now. With Gentile over at short, it's Nelson at third, Gentile at short, Serrano at second, and Zordani at first, all pitchers. And then you have Vicaro, and I don't know who that is in left. I think that might be 71 McGovern. And so that is 8 out of the 9 positions. Well, 8 out of 10 actually, but no, 8 out of 9. No, well, it's 7 out of 9 actually, because I forgot about Charnetsky, who's still catching behind the plate. But for an infield and outfield, it is 6 out of 7 in terms of all of them who are pitchers out there right now. Dom Presto in right is the only one who is not a pitcher out there right now in the infield and outfield for the Pioneers, as I do think that is McGovern 71 over there in left. And Burkhan swung and popped up. That's number 39, Sayer. Excuse me, no, that's actually 34. That might be Tage Stewart, actually. 1-2 goes the count to Burkhan anyway. So, at this point, 34, Brody Huey, who was pinch hit for earlier, and then now is back to hitting. So, Burkhan now 1-2 the count, sets, deals, swing and a miss. That is 4 straight strikeouts for Burkhan, and now only 1 out away from ending this one. And so now 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Burkhan looking for another strikeout to make it 5 in a row to end the game. The last batter that he will have to face, I believe, according to my lineup sheet, is number 27, even though I'm going to have to confirm that in a second. Burkhan now will set, delivers. That is number 5. That'll be chopped over to Nelson. Turns to Zordani in time. And that'll end the ball game. Pioneers win their exhibition game, 7-1 the final. And all of pitchers infield and 2 out of 3 in the outfield to end the ball game. They'll now celebrate around Burkhan, and now we'll once again take around look at the upcoming schedule. They'll be on the road. The Pioneers will be on the road tomorrow in Jamestown. Then they'll be home for 3 straight games on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of July versus Niagara, Batavia, and Geneva in that order. Make sure to tune in at least on the 1st, because on the 1st I will try and have my 4th player persona interview. So make sure to tune in for that, and tune in to all the games, because all of them are going to be good. And some big games coming up. The next 3 games against all of the opponents that are ahead of the Pioneers right now in the standings. So a big shakeup in the division standings can happen if they are able to win the next 3 games. So make sure to tune in. Until